CSM presents Time Out with Coach.
Time out.
This time out is about perspective. Perspective is seeing things in context as they fit in with the other events, not in isolation. One advantage of age, and I'm getting older, and so are you, is that it gives life context. You can see what is happening now in the light of all the things that have happened. Did you ever see a baseball pitcher, get frustrated and lose control over one thing that happened or one pitch that got away from him? It happens. Did you ever see a football player get ejected or suspended for reacting to a violation of another player? Usually it's the second player that gets caught. He missed the rest of the game because of one event. Road rage is when a driver turns one offense into a life and death issue. Things get out of context. It happens in business too. People lose focus on their goals because of some event. One thing that happened, something somebody said, and they lose the rest of the game. How can we keep perspective? It's a great question, because perspective enables you to interpret the immediate situation. One, keep a long-term objective in mind. Keep your long view. Don't take your eyes off the long goal. Rudyard Kipling said, if we can keep our heads when all about us are losing theirs and blaming it on us, we'll be a man. Yeah, it takes a man to keep your head. But if you're going to win, you have to keep your head and keep perspective. Keep it about what you do, not what others do. Don't give control of your life to somebody else. 3, define success on the next play, not the last one. Use your mistakes. Don't let them use you. You can always come back from a bad shot. Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer of our time, doesn't always make good shots, but he has a reputation for coming back. He has a reputation for redeeming a bad shot, and he's great at it. You and I can be too. 4, when you make a right move and have some success, don't bask in the afterglow too long. Success sometimes can do as much damage as failure, and neither is permanent. Stay humble, focused. You know, there is a verse of Scripture that says pride goes before destruction. When you do something right, be thankful, but don't get puffed up about it. Nobody does the right thing every time. 5, don't let someone's opinion of you become your reality. I heard Les Brown, a motivational speaker, say that several years ago. I thought it was tremendous. I don't have time to tell you the story. But what somebody says is not what you have to think. They're taking a snapshot. You're making a movie. It's the long run that will matter. A 6th suggestion that I would make is get perspective from an older and wiser player. Find somebody who's been through it and ask them how they see the picture. They can help you. I remember years ago I was going through a rough time, and there was a lot of criticism. I took the matter to an older friend of mine and asked him what he thought about their criticism. He said to me, Charles, they're like Pomeranians barking at a freight train. They're irrelevant. Well, he might have been understating it, but I laughed, and it helped me to see a larger picture. A 7th suggestion is develop strong convictions, a strong mindset through reading and listening to others. You can develop your own resilience and determination as you build the substance of your thinking. You can determine to get better, not bitter. I may have said this to you before, but someone told me bitterness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other guy to die. Don't get bitter. Get stronger and use the adversity to make you stronger. An eighth suggestion is give your time to your sphere of influence, not to your anxieties. Your time is your most valuable commodity. Give it to being a positive influence to other people, not to worrying about what's going to happen to you. There are 3 studies that I advocate. One is study history. It will tell you where things were. 2, study contemporary issues. Pick up the news from the reliable sources that you can find. They will tell you where things are. And study people. They will tell you how things work. Study history, study issues, contemporary issues, and study people. Those are the 3 most important studies that I can recommend. Recently, I heard another leader speaking, and he said that there are 3 questions that he asked his people. 1, where have I been? 2, where am I now? And 3, where am I going? It's important to know the answer to all 3 of those questions if you're going to have perspective. If you can work with those 3 questions, you can keep your perspective. The past and the future balance the present. The best advice I can give to anyone is to relate to someone who's going where you want to go. For many, many years now, I've been a strong advocate of mentoring. I was mentored first by my father and then by others, and I'm so grateful for those who mentored me in various areas. They trained me. They helped me always to see perspective. They helped me to understand myself better. Someone who's older and more successful than you can help you keep perspective. That's why I guess I love the Bible so much, is because it covers thousands of years and it has many different authors who basically shared the same theme, and they all had a long view. I've been very privileged in my life to relate to older leaders, people who are older than I and more successful than I, and they have helped me more than I can ever tell you. It's easy to hang out with our peers, and thank God I have good peers. And your peers can help you, but they can't help you in the same way that someone can who's been down the path. Now, sometimes we're a little bit too proud to relate to such a person, but I suggest a person who's too proud to do that may be too proud to succeed. As a matter of fact, we're not qualified to lead others until we've been willing to be led ourselves. The great leaders of history and the great leaders in business had a long view. The poor leaders, the pretenders, they only had a present view. They may have understood what was hot, but they didn't understand the long-term implications. Great leaders are not pole-driven, they're principle-driven, and they stand by their principles even before the harvest has come. Poor leaders move only in personal expediency, in the moment. They have no perspective. I pity the people who follow them. Not long ago I heard speaker Michael McCarty, who himself is a doctor of philosophy and major in history, use this expression. He said to muse, M-U-S-E, is to think deeply or meditate. And then he contrasted the word amuse. The A in front of the word muse means not or no or without. So if muse means to think, amuse means no thinking. People who spend too much time being amused lose perspective. There was an announcement on a hotel announcement board which said, "The Clairvoyant Society has been canceled due to unforeseen circumstances." None of us can see the future, but seeing the larger perspective will help you to be ready for it. Timeout is over. And remember, this ain't no game.
For more information on Time Out with Coach or CSM, please visit www.csmpublishing.org.